Hello. This is a short introduction to the idea of multi-competence. If we're looking at second language acquisition, we have to start from the idea that there are two languages, the first language and the second language. The first language and the second language are then related. In the 1970s, people got the idea, based upon various Chomsky ideas, that the learner had a grammar of his or her own that wasn't the same as the first language or the second language. This was in some ways in between the first language and the second language, though it was also the product of all sorts of other things that the learner was doing. The name for this became interlanguage. This is often abbreviated to IL. If we look at the diagram a bit more closely, however, we can see that there's something rather odd about it. The L1 is in one person's mind, the interlanguage is in the same person's mind, but the second language is in somebody else's mind altogether. The three language systems in the diagram are not exactly the same. Two of them are in one person's head, the other is in another person's head. We can see this then by putting a blue oval around the first language and the interlanguage to show that they go together inside one person, and the second language is outside this altogether in the mind of another person. The issue though was, what do we call this new entity? People were used to talking about first languages, they were used to talking about interlanguages, but there wasn't a word for both of these together. About 1990, then I started calling this multi-competence. So multi-competence means the knowledge of more than one language in the same mind. It thus excludes the second language because that's outside the system, and it just looks at the first language and the interlanguage in the same mind. So multi-competence isn't really a theory or a model, it's a way of looking at second language learning from a particular perspective. This means that the two languages are always seen in a relationship within the same mind, and that they are not related to the second language in the mind of somebody else. The consequences of this perspective will be explained in the second reel, and they are available in several books and in various places on my website.